Hello friends, I hope you guys are doing well. Happy summer. In today's video I want to do something different. I'm gonna share my Hummingbird Garden Lanes with you. Yes, so we have some plants to put in here. I have some beautiful red hot polka, and also I have this beautiful, friends, look at it. This is a cardinal flower, a must for the Hummingbird garden, along with this beautiful Panama red echinacea. But before I begin this video, I want to thank Kingsyard for sending me this hummingbird feeder, my first one. This Touch of Nature from Kingsyard. And also for sending the shepherd's hook we're gonna put in our hummingbird garden. But first, let me get into some details and share this with you. All right, friends, so this came well packaged, okay? Look at that. And guess what's surprising? It is made from glass. Yes, friends, not plastic, but glass. And I must say it's very heavy, and oh my goodness, I love the details on here. Just look at the print of these beautiful flowers on here. Absolutely gorgeous. And then this is the bottom. We're gonna screw this in, and here is the top here. This is made from plastic, but this is glass. Beautiful. So I'm gonna put this together, and also the shepherd hook. And with the shepherd hook, friends, it's so easy. Let me show it to you here. So it come in pieces. This came like that, and then these rods came like this. And all you have to do here, you just have to screw it in right there. Very easy to do. And this is so heavy. It feels very sturdy. So it feels like it's quality because it's very heavy. Along with the hummingbird feeder, seems like high quality, well designed, and apparently it's easy to clean and refill. I haven't done that, so I can't tell you if it's easy to clean and refill. But as I always say, if you're gonna use a hummingbird feeder, change it out every maybe 2 to 3 days. Okay, very important. You don't have the sugar water sitting out there and it's still 2 to 3 days. So if you cannot commit to doing that, don't have a hummingbird feeder. Very, very important. So anyways, let me put this together, then I'm going to plant some of those plants. All right, friends, so it came with this booklet. Very, very important. It shows you the different parts, how to put it together, and I appreciate they took their time to show you how to make the nectar mixture. So we're gonna need 1 water and 1/4 sugar. It said to each cup of water add 1/4 of sugar, white sugar I should say. Stir the 2 ingredients in a pan and bring to a boil. Take the mixture off the heat, add the sugar solution to cool before filling it in the hummingbird feeder. And then also, friends, an important feature here is it comes with an ant moat. It says why you need an ant moat. Simply fill water into the ant moat, which is this portion here. Then hang the feeder on the hook at the bottom of the ant moat. The ant moats hang between the trees, and the feeders acting as a barrier between the ants and the bird feeder and prevent ants from accessing sweet nectar. Because, friends, you know the ants, they love the mixture of the sugar water that you would put in the hummingbird feeder. So very important. So we're gonna test this out, okay? So I'm gonna put this in the garden, then I'm gonna give you my review in a couple of weeks, because I have to test it for a couple of weeks in order to know, did the ant go in the mixture, did the ant moat work? So I have to test this for a couple of weeks, and I'll give you updates in videos. But anyway, so let's go and put this together. I'm very excited about this, and let's get those plants in the garden, then I'll come back to you. All right, friends, so our cardinal flower, this is a black truffle. You can see the foliage. It's so pretty. It's black, and I got this at a private garden center. You would never find something like this at your big box stores, never. And it was only $11.99, which was a good price. So anyway, friends, so this, oh wow, this will get 36 to 48 inches tall and 12 to 24 inches wide. It prefers sun to pot sun. It blooms late spring into summer. Showy flowers great for wet areas, it said. Vibrant colors contrast beautifully with rich burgundy foliage and attract hummingbirds and butterflies to the garden. A striking addition to the landscape planted with hosta, daylily, and spiderwort. I find it somewhat weird, so to speak, that it says great with hosta, because hosta loves the shade, right? But it's saying a sun to pot sun. Anyways, so we're gonna put this right here. Found this beautiful spot in front of this beautiful foxglove. So we're gonna tuck it in right here, and then of course I'm gonna give you a tour of the hummingbird garden when we're done planting these plants. And this beautiful echinacea, let me get the tag for you. This one is the Panama red coneflower. Yes, so let's add this beauty in the garden, and it says it will get 12 to 14 inches tall and wide. It blooms summer and fall. It's day resistant and it's packed with flowers in each plant. So I'm gonna add this in the hummingbird garden bed. I think mostly because of the color. Then I'm gonna show you what I have in here for the hummingbird. So let's find a spot here and let's put this baby in here. So the water is in, so we're gonna attach this here. It says 2 hands, screw it on, make sure it's tight and nice. Yep, perfect. And then we're just gonna flip it over. Voila, there you are. So the hummingbirds should be able to put their beaks in here and they will get that beautiful, delicious, rich nectar. It's just sugar water. Anyway, so I'm going to attach this to the tree, and it comes with the ant moat. And all I do here is connect this like this, and the idea behind this is that this will just be normal water, no sugar, and this will prevent the ant from coming down here and going by the sugar water. So I'm going to take you over where I have the shepherd's hook in the ground and show this to you. But look how beautiful this is, friends. Absolutely gorgeous. I just love the hand paint floral design on it. All right, friends, so here is the hummingbird lanes. So the hook is in and the sun is out, so excuse the sun. So here is the hook. I have it going down in the ground, not all the way, the ground is still dry, so after it rains I'll try to push it down deeper, but it works for now because the feeder is not heavy. So anyway, so here is the feeder. We're gonna attach it on here. All right, friends, so it is all set up, and I added some plain water, no sugar, but plain water in the ant mode. And remember, down here is where the sugar water is, so we're gonna keep our eyes on this and see what happens. But just a side note, in my area over the past few years, the hummingbirds would normally come, I would say late July, August. I've never seen them in early July. It's almost more towards August. I will see them out here, so we're gonna keep this here. And friends, just a side note, if you cannot commit to changing your hummingbird feeder every 2 to 3 days, do not have one. Very important, because you don't want the hummingbirds to get sick from stale sugar water you have sitting out in your garden. Just a side note for you. I'm going to go around and show you plants I have in here for the hummingbirds. And in the few weeks to come, if I see any hummingbirds, I'll definitely see if I could record it for you and share with you those hummingbirds. And also I'll share with you how the ant moat work. That's very important, because the hummingbirds, they love to go down in the sugar area. And also I've read the bees, the honeybees, love to go after the sugar water. So I'll let you know in another video an update how this beautiful hummingbird feeder works. But I'm telling you, it is so gorgeous, and I'm gonna leave a code for you down below. If you would like to purchase one for yourself, you can get a discount on that. And I want to thank Kingsyard for sponsoring this video and sending this for me to try out. Once again, I'll give you a part 2 with how the feeder worked. But anyway, so if you don't want to come into a hummingbird feeder to change it out every few days, let me show you some plants that you should have in your garden that will attract our beautiful hummingbird friend. So first I have here butterfly weed. Yes, look at that. Do you see the bee on there? And I think this looks like a honeybee enjoying the sweet nectar from the butterfly weed. And also I have echinacea. Echinacea is a must in your hummingbird garden, very important. And down below here, friends, I have some bee balm here. They're not blooming as yet. And then I have a sunflower I added there, and then these are the red hot poker we planted together. Very excited about that. And then over here I added these earlier in spring. These are sorrel. These give a hibiscus looking flower, and the hummingbirds love them. And also I can drink the flower, I can boil it and make a red delicious drink called sorrel. We call it sorrel in the Caribbean, but the flower from these, they look like hibiscus, and the hummingbirds love them. Alrighty friends, and here we have Liatris. You can see they just start to bloom here, another favorite of the hummingbirds. And I have more red hot poker already bloomed in here. And here we have a penstemon. You could see it bloomed and it's coming back again. So the hummingbirds love any flower that look like this, like a funnel shape, I would say, like a flute, so they can get their beaks down in there. It's like a bright reddish color. And then in between here I have some larkspur coming up there. And most of these, this hummingbird garden, this will be the second year. I started it last year from seeds. Most of the plants in here were done from seeds, and I added some bulbs in here. And here you can see the coneflower, another great plant for the hummingbird. And then I added a coreopsis here. We have more butterfly milkweed. And then, oh, let's talk about the lilies. They love lilies. So the lilies will be opening soon. And I added, these are some red, I think they're red gladiolus. I did not blooming yet, but you could see the bud right here. And then this is a turtle neck plant, I think that's the name of it. I just planted the bare root early in spring, nothing yet. And that's the red hot poker we just planted together. And I added a cleome in here, friends. Hummingbird will love that. And then here's the bee balm. And then here we have red salvia. We all know the hummingbirds love salvias, right? So I added some red salvia in here. And then this is a sunflower for the hummingbird. And then over here we have a celosia. This is the one when I was back home in the Caribbean, and I shared a clip with you. If I could find it, I'll insert it for you, where the hummingbird was going crazy. I'm definitely getting some seeds from this plant to take back to put in my garden in Pennsylvania. Look at that, friends, absolutely gorgeous. So I started it from seed, and I can't wait for it to get bigger to attract the hummingbirds. All right, so this is this side of the hummingbird lane. And of course I just have a hummingbird pick in there, just love it. And let's go over to the other hummingbird lane. So here we have a poppy. I'm gonna try to insert a picture for you. It's already bloomed, as you can see. This is just a seed head. It bloomed very earlier in the spring season. Oh my goodness, friends, look at this poppy. This one I got from the hummingbird seed mix, yes, and I did this in the winter sowing method last year. Nothing happened. I just had this foliage looking at me last year, and I've been watching it, and this year I'm like so excited. Look in there, friends. I'm just lost for words how nature is. It's just unbelievable. Look at that. Look at the throat of this poppy. Look at that, friends. Oh my goodness, I've never seen anything like this. I'm so excited. I want more of these in my garden next year. I've been watching this since last year and all the way in spring of 2025 just to see what it's going to look like. Oh, it feels so smooth, so silky. Just look at it, friends. And I think this might be the only one on here. I was looking at the plant itself to see if I see any other buds or anything. I'm not seeing any. I'm just this one. Yes, it sat here as a huge ball, and finally it opened. I'm not sure how long the blooms will last. I've done different poppies, but I don't know what poppy this is. This is an incredible poppy. This is breathtaking. This is just, I'm just lost for words. Okay, let's go in the center here again. Look at that, friends. Look at that. Oh my goodness. And we have another of the Roselle sorrel plant here. I can't wait for these to get big, friends. It's just a hummingbird pick in here. We have more of the butterfly milkweed, and then we have more of the echinacea, and then here we have more lilies. I added lilies in here, and then these are the red hot polka. Do you see this? They already bloomed. I'm gonna come in and cut them all the way down, so I think they might give me another bloom soon, so I just have to take care of cutting these down to help the plant send out another stalk with bloom in there. And then this is the one we just planted. This is the cardinal flower. You're supposed to give red flowers. We did this together, so I can't wait for this to give me some beautiful red blooms on here. So by the time the hummingbird comes around, a lot of these plants would already be out in bloom, so I'm very excited about that. And something will always be blooming in here. And friends, look at this, from seed, foxglove. My first time with this. Look at that. Once again, the hummingbirds love any flower with this funny looking flower here, so they can put their long beaks in here. Very important. If you want a hummingbird garden, do research what plants you should put in there. But I'm so excited about this, friends. From seed last year, it bloomed this year. Really excited. And then here is the Panama red coneflower we did together. Look at that, it's doing well. And they always say red is the color to attract the hummingbirds. I think red is the color too. There's other colors that attract the hummingbird, but definitely if you plant flowers with the shape, or any shape where they can get their beak in, it works. Canna lily, friends. At the end of the video, I'm going to insert for you canna lily from last couple of years where the hummingbird was going crazy. They always come back looking for the canna lily. I have canna lily on my patio for them when they come. Last year I did cardinal vine here, and they really love it because it was those flowers with that trumpet looking shape flowers. And over here we have some bee balm, we have cleome, and then we have more poppies coming here. And then here's one of those other plants, the celosia I told you guys about. And then we have delphinium in there, we have sunflower, and then here we have more of the gladiolus for them. And then here we have this yarrow. This is a red yarrow. More bee balm over here, friends, more liatris, loving it. And then here we have more coneflower, more liatris. I'm telling you, friends, it is packed with a lot of flowers that will provide sweet nectar to the hummingbirds. So I'll give you an update with this garden in weeks to come and let you know how the Kingsyard hummingbird feeder worked. But I must tell you, I'm really impressed. I just love the work on this. I love this shepherd's hook. Very, very sturdy. Really, really sturdy. And as I said, you can adjust it different sizes. But anyway, so this is the hummingbird garden, friends. I thank Kingsyard for sponsoring this video, for sending me out the hummingbird feeder and the shepherd's hook to try out. View more updates in the weeks to come, friends. So thank you for being here. Let me know what flower you have in your garden to attract the hummingbirds, or if you have a hummingbird feeder, how does it work for you? All right, friends, thank you guys so much for being here as always, and I'll see you in the next one now. Cheers.